like. And so that will ultimately be good news for the broader market today. But also remember that with the S&P at 850, twice we've had the president's working group, sometimes known as the Plunge Protection Team, step in when it looked like things might get worse. That happened on October 10th and October 28th. Both of those rallies, nearly 100 points in the S&P. They are completely the product of the president's working group.
Hey, Scott, hold on, Scott. Hold on. You're saying the government stepped in and bought S&Ps in the market.
I am saying that the market action on those 2 days and one or two others has all the hallmarks of the Plunge Protection Team at work.
All right, I've heard this before, but you're the first one to say it on TV here. Give us what you're looking at when you see the government stepping in. What are you seeing?
Well, simply the way that the market traded, particularly on the 10th, which I believe was a Friday, and things could not have looked worse. And you could not only see the way the market traded, that it traded straight higher on that Friday, but also just the way that the market felt. It was simply that this was the end of the world, and I just really feel that the Plunge Protection Team did not want the week to end with that kind of sentiment.
Mickey.
On Friday. Are you talking about Thursday?
I'm not sure. I'm just very interested in the idea that the government is in there, and I've heard this from other guys before, that the trading seems like or feels like. Bank of America Chief Economist Mickey Levy's here as well. Mickey, do you want to chime in on this? Is the government out there buying S&Ps to support the market?
Absolutely not. I mean, I just think it's a silly discussion. No.
But hang on one second. Repeatedly, government officials have referred to the Plunge Protection Team, which is actually called the President's Working Group. They have repeatedly referred to it, and they have repeatedly talked about its working in the S&P market. The group exists. We know what they do. They've done it in the past, and previously government officials have talked about it. It's
Scott,
not like this is...
I think you'd have to send me a site on that. I've never seen any reference from the PWG about them saying they're working in the S&P market and buying S&Ps.
Point is,
and I know what you're saying, that it's been said that they did it before, but I've never seen it proven before, Scott.
Well, previously, George Stephanopoulos, when he was in the Clinton White House, spoke about it in public and said that it had happened. Well, my point is the president exists. We know that the president's working group does this. And it's tough to look at the market action on the 10th and the 28th of October and say that it was anything else.
Scott, I have my concerns. This seems to me one of those internet things that's out there.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
The Plunge Protection Team. I've seen it on internet boards and blogs.
A little bit of money could go a long way in those S&Ps, Steve. I mean, here we are screwing around with all this TARP stuff. I mean, you put $50 billion into the S&Ps, you could get a pretty good move that day.
And then you should truly move to Moscow, Joe, because that would be a truer free market.
It's not a lasting...
But for one day, you'd get if you just deployed $1 billion every 5 minutes into the S&Ps. Can you imagine?
Market manipulation.
This is
Scott. This sort of thing. I'm not saying it.
Scott, I'm going to leave this as an internet rumor. You want to send me some information that proves this or somehow makes it fact.
And
I only bring it up because I've heard it before, Scott, from others.
That's conspiracy.
You're not the first guy, but
look at the market action on the 10th and the 28th, and tell me what else might have generated a 100-point rally in the S&P in a situation like that.
That's like, Scott, that's like sending in a guy and knocking off a foreign head of state without telling anyone. I mean, that's almost as much of a conspiracy theory.
I actually don't agree with that at all. I mean, we step into foreign currency markets all the time.
Isn't there, Steve, wouldn't you need some kind of legislation that would even allow you to do that?
I suppose they could do that. But Joe, can I ask Mickey about the PPI here? The whole
First of all, I just want to say I don't agree with that. That opinion in no way reflects the opinions of the show.
Which one?
The government's manipulating with the Plunge Protection stuff.
We're not saying that.
The reason I highlight it is because it's out there. It's out there. Others have called me and said, Steve, you got to look into this, and I've looked into this, and what it has to do with is the character of the trading and how things reverse themselves when other things are going the wrong way. The next thing we're going to say, Steve, is that Goldman's the broker buying the S&Ps, and somehow Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe are the chartists. Where are you coming in, Rick? Are you adding to the speculation?
No,
are you deflating it, Rick? Where are you going?
No, I'm not weighing into that. I've seen, if there's a plunge protection in the government, I don't know about the protection part. They may add to the plunge. I'm not getting involved in any of the conspiracy theories.
You've heard of the Plunge Protection Team. That is something that's true. There is something called the PPT. Would it be against the law for the government to buy S&Ps?
Please, the PPT is, you know what Voltaire said about God? If he didn't exist, man would have to invent him. People can't stand randomness. And if you're in the pits and you've guessed badly wrong and they come and lift your wallet away from you, it can't be your fault. It's got to be some mysterious government invention. That's a lot of crap.
So it's like the second gunman or like we wired the World Trade Centers ourselves. I mean, it's just, it's conspiracy crap. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the black helicopter crowd. Yes, they're
That's
there.
the black helicopter crowd. But then again, I thought about the Fed and what the Fed can do in the bond market, Art, and couldn't they we buy back bonds all the time, right?
Sure,
I mean,
they can buy back bonds, but the theory of the Plunge Protection Team coming into the stock market goes back to the '87 crash. We've been through tons of administrations, different people in Treasury. Don't you think something might have leaked out by now? You know, this is the tooth fairy all over again.
I was trying to figure out how you do it, because if you bought the S&Ps, wouldn't you have to sell them eventually?
Yeah, and then there's all this mysterious double bookkeeping that goes on. They really have to strain to keep the theory going.
Yeah, okay. All right. But you've heard guys whispering where you are about it, that not everyone is of your opinion, I guess, huh?
No, they all tell me, gee, I'm so bright I can't be wrong. It must be somebody else's fault.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I'm glad we had you today, Art.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay.